Hey, what's up? It's the Figure Hunter. Up for review today is a full in-depth review for the Garmin Venu 2. This is the 2S, the smaller baby brother. So there is a 40 millimeter version and a 45 millimeter version. This is the 40 millimeter, but we'll see it. But you're not going to be able to tell because I'm not going to look at it in comparison to other watches. This is the 40 millimeter, but that's the size variance. They're both $400. But what we're going to test it for is for CrossFit training. Obviously, everything on this channel, everything on the website Figure Hunter associated with it, figurehunter.com, is for the purpose of testing devices for CrossFit and high-intensity interval training. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and please consider subscribing for more. Now, what the Venu 2 is significant. The watch itself is awesome, and I'm going to highlight all the different features, but what it represents is even more awesome. This watch is completely brand new when it comes to a lot of primary content that Garmin is doing, putting together, and offering. It is top to bottom. I want to say before I get through the video, get dived in too quickly because I always forget. I've learned how to do timestamps, so there's timestamps in the bottom. But we're going to talk about how this works as a smartwatch, how it works for workouts and for fitness, how it works for wellness, recovery, and sleep. But the biggest thing of all is that there is all new technology built into it. It has a new battery management for an AMOLED watch with just a big, beautiful screen that not other sports watch manufacturers are putting out there. Big, beautiful screen with new battery technology that's estimated to get 11 days of battery life, maybe 7 if you're just using it on average with GPS activities. Number 2, new processor. How it is processing is faster, and there's upcoming, updates to how it's going to be able to provide applications, provide details, provide any calculations. Number 3, the new heart rate sensor, the Garmin Elevate 4.0 heart rate, which when you're tracking optical heart rate, devices on the wrist, or you're just wearing it as a watch, and it's got an optical heart rate unit on the back, they have all been relatively shoddy until the Apple Watch 6 did well. Well, I'm going to post in the link in the description below, but I just got through with a full analytical testing of 8 workouts, a whole bunch of different workout types, and tracking it and analyzing it with statistics to be able to figure out its accuracy, and it's 93.4% accurate. It is more accurate than the Apple smartwatch, the Apple Watch 6, and this is new technology. So again, new battery management, new battery calculation, new processor, new heart rate sensor, new pulse ox tracker. So now the pulse ox is becoming at least closer to medical grade. And the way Garmin uses the pulse ox is more effective than any other watch manufacturer out there. We'll talk about that in a little bit. New algorithms, so how it calculates your body battery. So looking inside your soul to figure out how your wellness is recovering from your night's sleep, how your sleep had an impact, what downness you have, and the impact of the workouts and everything around you. So new algorithms, new sleep tracking. Now, not technically new to the whole Garmin family, but I want to make sure it's clearly stated that this is new to the application. So now you can see your sleep score in the app itself, which usually you only be able to see it on the Garmin Fenix 6. And then it was announced to be coming on the 745 and the 945, but now it's up for the 745. I think it's on a 945 beta as of the time of this video, but now it's available here in the Venu 2 when it previously was only available in the Garmin Fenix 6, the top of the line, the big, but also in the app you can now see your sleep score. You can see what goes into your sleep score. Super helpful information. And then a new sport profile. So now it's got high intensity interval tracking, but for us in the CrossFit or high intensity interval community, it's actually going to give you AMRAP timers. It's going to give you an EMOM timer. It's going to give you a Tabata timer. So it's going to give you timers that were relevant, and you can track your rounds, track your time per rounds, track your average, so you can be able to keep track of all the different details as it comes to timers for high intensity interval tracking or CrossFit tracking. So what we're going to do today is we're going to dive into all of these different details, but I just want to say at the outset that this is an introduction of a whole bunch of different technology, a whole bunch of new features, a whole bunch of new details that now Garmin is unveiling. So I'm going to tell you how it works, what some of the features are. We're not going to look at absolutely every spec under the sun. We're going to look at the primary overview of each of these features. So the smartwatch capabilities, the workout features and how it's tracking workouts, how that compares, and the wellness. But more than that, I'm going to compare it to others in the industry so you can see, okay, what is unique to this watch offering, to this Garmin family, to this, how Garmin does things, what is what is it that they have that nobody else has? What is it that others have that they don't have? So we're going to look at all those basic features. So we're going to look at a brief hands-on. We're going to talk about the smartwatch features on the whole. We're going to look a little bit at the app, and then we're going to talk about some of the other features along the way. Let's dive in. Okay, so what do we see with the Venu 2? This is the Venu 2S. Obviously, it's an AMOLED screen. It has a stainless steel bezel, but it is curved around the top, so you will get, see, notifications come in nice and smoothly. It's got a big, beautiful screen. I don't know what the specs are listed on the Garmin website, but if you look at the thickness, it's 40 millimeters by 13.3 millimeters. On the back, you have the new heart rate sensor. So I'm going to get into the details later as far as the accuracy of this new optical heart rate sensor called the Elevate 4.0. It's got a new pulse ox tracking. So we're going to see how the pulse ox is getting more accurate now. 18 millimeter band, so super small, but in Garmin's standard charging plate, you have 2 buttons on the side, nothing on the other side. And then basically a lot of it works with just a touch screen. So you basically move up and down for your widgets. You move to the right to get a quick launch, which you can set at any thing. You move to the left and nothing happens. The bottom button just brings you back to home, or you hold it down to be able to access the settings. And the setting layout, if you're a Garmin user now, is a little bit different. Some of the details are a little bit shifted around as far as what goes where. Operate the top button. That's where you go into your workouts, and you can obviously access a lot of different workouts on top. You can continue down and just add a whole bunch of different workouts in addition to that one. So that is the basic overview and the size of the Garmin Venu 2S. How does it work as far as like a smartwatch? How does it compare with other smartwatches? So basically the widgets you can arrange, but they're all primarily health-based. So, steps, floors, climb, these are just ones that I've chosen to leave on here. Heart rate, stress level, probably the most important health aspect is, the body battery, which tracks your heart rate variability over time, starting at midnight and the night before, and just tracks it to a peak with your recovery through your sleep, as well as further down. We'll talk about that in a little bit longer, but you will get just the ability to use the touchscreen to access different information across a longer period of time. But you access the widgets. This is not a watch that's going to be like the Apple Watch where you're going to have a whole bunch of different apps. This is basically how they're apps, although it's not really an apps. It basically is just a bunch of widgets, which most often just include aspects that relate to, health and wellness and sports tracking. You do have a really pretty, and then this is a new part of the weather feature, UV index, humidity, dew point, which is awesome. I don't know if you like to sit out in the sun, but I do, and it's nice to know the UV index is now added to their weather widget. Last activity and sleep. We're going to look at some of those in details, but as far as how it functions like a smartwatch, you get all your basic notifications. You can't reply to them unless you have an Android phone. With the iPhone, you basically are just going to be limited to what you can see. It's going to be easy to clear. That's the basic thing there, but you're just going to basically get to see and read the communications you're getting on your phone on the watch itself, so you're not going to actually access anything sort of special and different. It really just functions like a big, beautiful display on a sports watch that just is giving you communication in a one-way setting from your watch to the device itself, versus like a Garmin or Samsung Galaxy phone. So let's come back together. Okay, so this is the main landing page. You get all your primary stats. Again, there's no real app configuration. You don't actually pick your watch faces here, so this is not going to operate the same as some of the other manufacturers. Again, it's a sports watch with smartwatch capabilities and a big, pretty smartwatch screen. So this is primarily just where you get all your information. You have your performance-based specifics, and some of these performance stats flow through with higher-end watches with Garmin, and only a few of them will flow through with the Venu 2. You have your health tracking metrics. So again, look at the list of benefits it will track and details it will provide. Your summary of your workout history, as well as the more column where you get a bunch of other features and benefits. So again, summary of your day, summary of your week, or summary of your yesterday, summary of your week where you can see details, performance-based statistics, health-based statistics. So super, super deep when it comes to health-based details and wellness and features alongside fitness
Not a lot of just obviously smartwatch features. So let's talk about
Okay, so how does it look as a smartwatch? I think it actually works effectively well as a smartwatch because it's highly simple. It doesn't give you a bunch of apps. It doesn't give you a bunch of in-depth things to dive into, but it just functions in all the primary ways you would need it to when tracking sports, fitness, and wellness. So it does all the things. The notifications pop up fine. So I really highlight it for the simplicity. But one of the big things, a lot of reviewers have compared it to the Apple Watch 6. It is not the Apple Watch 6. It does not even come close to the smartwatch features, smartwatch capabilities. The Apple Watch 6 has a real pro because it is like a mini computer on your wrist. I personally do not like the Apple Watch 6. I do not like the Apple Watch series at all because I think it absolutely fails on sports tracking and fitness tracking and a culmination of your health and wellness details. It's super bland and a bunch of things. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But I don't like that it's so complex. It has all these little baby miniature applications. It's like a miniature computer. So the Garmin Venu 2 is great, and I think it's better as a smartwatch because it's simplicity. But it doesn't have the high-level smartwatch features that even Samsung Galaxy watches would be able to provide you. It's just more simple and streamlined, which I like. One of the things, so the battery life, it's an AMOLED display. So think about it as a smartwatch. That's just like daily use. It's rated at 11 days average, really more like 7 days if you're going to use it for GPS. But if you turn it always on, and that's where I did all my testing, it's lasting 2.7 days. So I'm getting 2.7 days out of it with always on display. And if you just turn off always on display, you're going to get a lot more time. Other reviewers are getting a full 7 days, a full 6 to 7 days on an AMOLED display watch with easy, quick wrist raise, beautiful, beautiful colors and screens, and fast processing time. Another unique thing, so what is different about it compared to others is the music capability. So a lot of watches have music storage. You can download different MP3s, like anybody owns an MP3 anymore. Nobody does. So music storage is not functionally useful if it can't tie into how we listen to music today, which is a music service provider. Spotify being the largest, and Garmin is the only watch that you can download Spotify playlist. You can use Spotify on other watches, but only if it's tethered to your phone. You got your phone in your pocket and you're using your phone's Wi-Fi signal or data signal. That's not useful. If you think about like, I want download storage, you can download a full Spotify playlist and take it out on a run. Your watch is your phone is nowhere near it. Nobody else is providing Spotify downloadable playlist where you actually have the content in the watch itself for when you go out to the watch. Garmin Pay, so you can swipe and use it as a pay chip. That's like Apple. Again, smartwatch feature that no other sports manufacturers are providing. So nobody else is doing that. And then the last, apps in the iQ store. So obviously, Samsung's got apps. Apple's got apps. But Polar, Coros, Suunto, they don't have anything of the app nature. Garmin's the only sports watch manufacturer that has apps and a Connect IQ score, and it's about to go into overdrive because of the new processor in this system. So when you look at all those things, Garmin is the absolute trendsetter, way out in front with smartwatch features. It is not the Apple Watch or even the Samsung Galaxy Watch series when it comes to a smartwatch, but it has got an incredibly download Spotify music. It's got Garmin Pay. You know, Garmin, one thing is unique. It can link to like a million different types of devices. It's like Garmin is unlimited, and they will even build in how you can link to, there's linking to Lumen's new metabolic calculation for how you're burning fat right now. But Garmin Pay, apps in the IQ store, none of the other sports watch manufacturers are doing it. So now let's get into fitness. We're going to look at it. It's like how it looks on the watch when you go in to set up a workout, how it looks on the app when you see the workout afterwards, how it ties into other things, and then we'll come back together to talk about it.
So what do we see as far as the fitness side? So you're obviously going to go into track one of your workouts. If you're doing one that's GPS based, you're going to click into it and it says wait for GPS. You can click the up to be able to access workouts or a training calendar. So it'll give you standard, so you can download them. You can download standard ones from GarminConnect.com, a training calendar, settings, and live track. Live track will tell somebody where you're going and where you're at in the race. The biggest and newest and the most important is the high-intensity interval training, which gives you this access to high-intensity interval training timers, which is totally purposeful for the CrossFit community. AMRAP, has many rounds as possible in a certain period of time. You start that, and you're going to click your round times and track your rounds by the button press on the bottom right. EMOM, every minute on the minute. Tabata and custom. Custom, you can set an interval timer. So if you're doing every 2 minutes on the minute, you can set it at that. Set the rest time down to 0. I guess you can't set the rest time. Let's see if we can enter a 0, 0, 0, 0. If that'll take it. Oh, no, it will not. So you have to have some form of a rest. So maybe you would set it at 1.5 minutes with a 30-minute rest. And then you would have your aspects there. So that's the custom, but it is really nice to have some basic CrossFit type workouts built into one of the sports tracking profiles. There's a million different profiles. And one of the things that's really interesting, if we go further into it, is you don't have a copy widget that I can see or have seen, which allows you to customize a little bit of details. Oh, you can, look at that. So you can copy an activity, you can name it whatever you want, cardio 2, you can set your data screens, so you can adjust the layout. This is something you can do for any of the apps. So the different layouts are single data, 2 data, 3 data, 4 data. So that's the limit of what you have. So once you have selected the number of data units, you can edit the data field. So you can go through a whole bunch of different, heart rate, temperature, a whole bunch of different aspects. You can track metrics as you like. And this is one of the things that's unique that I found is, well, it's maybe not unique to Garmin because other watches will let you edit this, but it just makes it really easy to be able to change, edit, and be done with multiple different aspects of a workout that you want to track and see. So in the high intensity interval, let's say you wanted to look at the options settings, you want to look at the data screen. So we're going to go in, and it only allows you to use those 3 screens. So let's go to data 3. We're going to go to want the layout to be 4 units. And then this time we're going to edit. We're not going to make it, actually, you can swipe right to go back a field. So heart rate zone, that's going to be like your heart tracker. Let's take the heart rate out. Let's go timer fields. You got your last lap time, put this one in timer fields, current lap time, so you can see what your last lap time was if you're tracking rounds for time to see how your pace on the current lap is doing. And then on the bottom, I think it's down into the other fields, the number of laps. So now you've got a lap tracker. If you wanted to be able just to count your rounds per time, what round you're on, if you're doing Murph and you're trying to count, 20 rounds, this helps you keep track of it, what your last rep was. And you can adjust all these things in the data fields, which makes it super customizable. When you get out of a screen and you want to be able to see how the workout looks in the last activity, this is the basic summary of it. And you can see just simple information. It doesn't give you any heart rate analytics, doesn't give you like the workout analytics for training effect, training load, recovery time, anything like that. It just gives you super simple information. So let's come back together. Okay, so what do we get in the fitness side? I'm just going to bounce through this quickly because you've seen these things before. This is what a workout looks like when you get done. I just have continually used the high intensity interval training workout, and you can see, the heart rate and the heart rate zones. It doesn't give you a lot of flashy stuff. There's not a lot of fancy benefits. I don't even know if I tracked a run using the new watch. Here's the AMRAP that I tracked with it, and it just gives you all the same basic stuff. But in the beginning, you could enter rounds and exercise details. I don't even think this was on the Venu. Nope. So you can just see a basic summary of your workout and details. That's what the workout looks like and the specifics. It doesn't flow through. Again, this does not flow through to workout intensity tracking as well as the training load and training effect from a particular workout. It just flows through just to the basic stats of the workout. One of the things that is new and a feature that is different, I'm going to have to show you my friend's workout program because he has been tracking strength training. And so you can see his strength training in here. When you do a strength CrossFit or strength tracking series, you get a heat map. So he's been entering, and you can enter your own workout so you can do it before. So you can start a strength training profile, so a sports profile. You actually just start lifting weights, and then you enter the actual sets and exercises afterwards for the amount of weight and the amount of details, and it will find any exercise in the known universe. And I am not kidding. There is any exercise in the known universe. Now, he's using a Garmin Fenix 6, so he gets training effect, so you actually can accumulate load if you're using a higher end watch, but this is something that's a feature of the Venu 2. And Venu 2 actually has all of the little workout animated features. But so you can build your workout here where you can see all the specifics of your workout and how it affected the heat map of your body just by simple entry of the workout movements that you executed. So that's a summary of the workout and different aspects of workout tracking within the
Okay,
app.
so what's unique about this? Now, this is where it is actually better than others, but yet more simple than the Garmin lineup. So in the Garmin Venu 2, you don't get workout analytics. You don't get training effect, which is anaerobic and aerobic valuation of your training score, which is only offered in the Garmin Forerunner system, as well as the Garmin Fenix system. It's not offered on the Instinct, the rugged watch. It's not often on the Vivo Active 4. The workout analytics only come on the Garmin Forerunner and Fenix line, but it gives you in-depth training load. So basically your accumulation of workout intensity over a period of time and how it compares to past accumulation over a longer period of time to see if your fitness is growing and improving. Recovery time calculations. Garmin's got one of the industry-leading recovery evaluations. So the intensity of that one workout when looked at alongside your body battery and your sleep for the last night, how much recovery do you need? Garmin will tell you that in their Forerunner and Fenix 6 series. So Venu doesn't have any of those things. I just want to highlight that it is out there, and it's not on a lot of their primary watches like the Instinct, the Vivo Active line, none of those things. So it doesn't have those features. It just is giving you heart rate zones. Now, a lot of the manufacturers don't give you heart rate zones. If you look at Apple, it is pathetic, in my opinion. Straight out of the box, it's pathetic. The level of detail to their workout. They give you no statistics, like no heart rate zones. You had to get a different app to be able to see my heart rate zones from a workout. Super useless, in my opinion. So that's how I would compare it to an Apple Watch if you want to look at the fitness side of things. But the ability, to see the heart rate zones is very useful, and some manufacturers do it. But the primary thing with working out is that the heart rate, optical heart rate tracker is on point, like it is accurate. And the fact that Garmin easily connects to a chest strap, and easily connects to a Bluetooth chest strap and an Ant Plus chest strap, so it can connect to a whole bunch of different devices to be able to accurately assess the intensity of your workout, even if it doesn't give you the workout analytics. You can see your volume over time. You can track your intensity minutes, like how many intense minutes you accumulated for a week. All super useful things. Another thing, the HIIT profile, the high intensity interval training profile, the fact that it's tracking, CrossFit or high intensity interval type metrics in a timer built into the watch. You'd have to download that on all the other manufacturers. Nobody else is offering times to count your laps or your rounds per time or your time per round. Nobody else is doing that, and Garmin's now introduced it on the Venu 2. Fitness age. Now this is buried into, you have to go into the settings, into the user profile, and have used it for a period of time, but it'll take your sleep, your resting heart rate, your weight, so your body fat density, and your rigor of your workouts recently, and tell you your fitness age. So mine just says I'm 10 years younger, so that, I don't know. I don't know if that's right or not. I haven't tracked it. I just really found it recently. But it's buried into the user profile of your settings. We didn't look at it on the watch, but that's where it is. So strength training, as we saw in my friend's profile where he entered all his activities or his exercises, you can see a heat map for your body. The animated workouts on the watch, you can see actual animations. And the smartwatch processor, or the processor on this, is getting so much better at being able to see demonstrations. If you to start a workout, if you download one of the suggested workouts, you can see it visually on the watch to be able to go track and follow it. So it's got a lot of different aspects on the workout itself. So you can see so many different features and benefits now that are built into the Venu 2. So it is really, so it's sort of it's smartwatch, it's fitness, and now let's talk about the last thing, it's wellness. So it is great in all these things, and I'll compare it at the very end of all these different watch manufacturers. But so the smartwatch, it's really good. Now it blows all the other smartwatch, all the sports watch manufacturers out of the way, and it sort of competes, or not as well as the Garmin, the Samsung Galaxy Watch, and the Apple Watch, but it blows Coros and Polar and Samsung or Suunto out of the way. So anyway, smartwatch, workout, quality of workout, it's awesome because it does have a great heart rate sensor that's better than any of its other kind, and now the wellness category. So let's dive in. The wellness, we're going to look at it specifically because it just does a couple main things: body battery and sleep tracking, coupled with some ancillary pieces around the sleep tracking and the body battery, stress tracking, things like that. But it does it better than everybody else. Let's take a look. Okay, so what do we see when we look at some of the wellness and features, the wellness benefits? So first up, we have body battery. This is significant as an offering when it comes to other smartwatches and sports-based watches in the industry. This is real-time, all-time heart rate variability tracking, which is a measure of your stress. The less heart rate variability you have,
the more stressed, more worn down you're becoming, the more heart rate variability you have, the better in tune, the better ready for the day, ready for action, less stressed your heart is. So you can see as it drains over time, and it just tracks it from midnight on, but you get this graph. This is significant. So Polar tracks it for 4 hours of your sleep, and it calculates part of your sleep recommendations or sleep score or readiness recommendations on the 4 hour block of time for this heart rate variability. But Garmin uses it like a body battery, and DC Rainmaker talks about it like a, Street Fighter, sort of how much you have reserve left. And it is 100% accurate that way, 100% useful that way. So body battery is a big feature. Hydration, it will track female menstrual cycles as well on here, which is unique to this platform, and not many others are doing it other than Apple. But this is a sports-based watch, which actually still provides all of those wellness things. You can see all of these different features. You can actually take a snapshot 2-minute summary of all of your health and wellness. It'll take your heart rate, it'll take your stress level, your body battery. It'll take a snapshot within 2 minutes. It also will calculate your fitness stage. So here's where you see the stress. This is just a measure of your stress over time, where it's taking these calculations of heart rate variability, so really low stress while you're sleeping to really high stress during the day, and that calculates into your body battery regeneration or depletion. Respiration, you can see, it actually doesn't do much on the respiration screen. You can see your 7-day average respiration, but at least it's aware. One of the things I think that is unique, again, one of the unique features to Garmin is that it will track your pulse ox. So it will take your pulse oxygen level throughout your night's sleep. So we have a number of others like Coros, Apple, Samsung, or some of the Huawei Honor watches are doing pulse ox tracking, but they're not doing it all the time. So Garmin will take it throughout the night's sleep, and so you'll see throughout the night's sleep your pulse ox levels, and we'll look at it in the app. So your oxygen level throughout the night's sleep to see how you're sleeping and specifically your breathing in the night, and then obviously the sleep score itself. Sleep score will just show you a lot of details for your trend throughout the night, and this is now, this has always been the actual stats for the sleep has been in the app, but now the sleep score and the aspects that culminate and flow into the sleep score is in the app. So we'll look at that in a second, but this is a main feature of the wellness. So again, you have your heart rate variability tracking at all times, which is the body battery of how you're depleting your battery throughout the day, as well as the sleep tracking, and the pulse ox is a sidebar benefit to overall wellness throughout the night's sleep. So let's come back together. Okay, so the wellness things. I really look at body battery first and foremost because it tracks your wellness over time. And you can see just how your body has regenerated through a night's sleep. So I got a great night's sleep on Friday. It regenerated, and then it was depleted down to, almost to the bottom. If you look at some of the stats at the bottom, down to 18 at the end of the day. You can see, the regeneration through this night's sleep and depletion throughout the day. So you see this is when I got a terrible night's sleep and not very much sleep, and, continue to, this is super high level that you're not getting in other devices, tracking heart rate variability at all times, showing you how it's affecting your body. This is showing you how stress is affecting and lack of sleep is affecting your body. You have a visual representation of how stress is affecting your body here in the body battery. So super, super helpful. I'm not going to talk about it too much more at length, but it is highly valuable, not offered by other watch companies, stat. And then here's sleep tracking. So sleep tracking is great in and of itself. You get the stages of sleep, and now that we're using a higher quality heart rate sensor, you're getting better accuracy. They're also using statistics from first beat, so they're getting higher level sort of analytical calculations. And you also have pulse ox, so you can see your pulse ox throughout time. You can see it just trending over time. You can watch yourself over a period of days just manually like this. Or you even have the ability on different screens to go look at it in detail. So you look at it across the trends over a period of time. So you also have your respiration rate, which you can just sort of see how your respiration rate is changing throughout each average night's sleep. So pulse ox is a big thing, the sleep tracking, and now we have sleep score. This is a new thing that's not yet been offered on other watches, and now is new for the app itself. You can see different components of how they flowed into your sleep score. So when you have a good night's sleep, you can sleep, okay, fair sleep duration. I got 6.5 hours. It wasn't great. My stress level was low. My deep sleep was great. That was better than average. Fair. Again, 44 minutes of deep sleep. Same amount of sleep duration, but this is giving me useful, valuable information in a simple, quick summary output to be able to determine health and wellness. So again, you have body battery, you have sleep tracking, you obviously have menstrual tracking if you're female, hydration tracking. So a lot of wellness alongside all the sports
Before
stuff.
I forget, I did want to do a quick excerpt to compare the body battery algorithm changes versus the Fenix 6, both on the calculation for how it calculates body battery throughout the day and wears you down, as well as the regeneration throughout the night. So I did a 7-day test of how the Fenix 6 was tracking body battery versus the Venu 2 was tracking body battery to compare the statistics for how they changed. And what I found was interesting, plus I'll give you just a little overview of the sleep score differences that were coming out from each of the devices. Okay, so what do we see? On the left, you have the Venu calculations. So my body battery as it was tracked at 12 a.m., so like how much the prior day had worn me down, and the body battery when I woke up, and then the difference. As well as on the right, we have the Garmin Fenix 6, the body battery at 12 a.m., the body battery when I woke up, and the difference. Now, I didn't start calculating the regeneration difference until the fourth day, but then I tracked it across 6 days after that. And then on the far right, you see the sleep score on the Venu as well as the sleep score on the Garmin Fenix 6. So when we look at these things, because some reviewers were saying that the body battery was not regenerating as much at night and it was more quick to deplete throughout the day. And I was just finding some things that were different. Now, if you look on the body battery at 12 a.m., it was depleting more on the Venu 2. So I was getting lower scores, but I was getting much higher regeneration. So I was more quickly, if you look at the difference, the score numbers are higher on the Venu 2, which means that I was regenerating more on the Venu 2 than I was on the Garmin Fenix 6. Plus, you see a little bit of a slight difference, but not a significant difference when you look at the Venu versus the Garmin Fenix 6. And for me, that's valuable because it just means that the heart rate sensor doesn't apply a lot of details. It's more the tracking and, algorithm in behind the scenes. So what do we see when you look at the stats on this? You can see the Venu 2, the average wake for what I woke up with body battery was 80. The average nightly recovery, I regenerated 56 units and the average sleep score 73 versus the Fenix 6. The average waking body battery was 74, 75, so less than the 80 above. The average nightly recovery, like how many units I recovered, was 42, so less than 56, but that's a pretty significant difference less. And the average sleep score was 69.2, so it's similar to the average sleep score. So I just wanted to share these stats, just a little tidbit of information. So what we saw is that actually, contrary to some of the other reviewers out there that is finding that it's harder to regenerate your body battery and more easy to deplete it, I found the opposite. I found that it was harder to deplete it and more easy to regenerate it when compared to the algorithm that's in the Fenix 6. Now, that's the older algorithm. I'm aware that I believe that's the older algorithm. So I just want to share that quick tidbit. So thanks so much for letting me interrupt this little part of the video. Okay, so looking at the wellness, constant heart rate variability tracking. I mean, there's just, there's not much more else to say. So Coros doesn't even have anything like that at all. Polar will do the heart rate variability tracking for 4 hours of night. Apple will track it like in spots, but not give you a constant trend line and no way to access data. I don't know if the Samsung Galaxy Watch does stress tracking, but it doesn't really tie into how it's affecting and wearing down your body. Suunto does resources. Now, Suunto, I will say that they contract the first beat data, so they will show you their resources, which is the body battery, but it depends, it depends again on how accurate the heart rate sensor on it. So if you think about the recent release with the Suunto 7 having these updated features, but the heart rate accuracy is way off, you're not going to get accurate heart rate variability tracking. But heart rate variability tracking is so unique and so powerful when you look at the body battery. How your day is wearing you down, how your night's sleep is regenerating you or not regenerating you, how a workout has taken a load out of you. It's tracking things that nobody else is tracking. Super important and useful information for wellness tracking. Secondly, the pulse ox. Now, this is what's unique to Garmin versus others. Now, Coros has pulse ox when you're tracking like high mountain terrain and you're wanting to go over a mountaintop. It'll start being aware of your blood oxygen level, but it's basically useless unless you want to spot check it at random. Same thing with the Samsung Galaxy Watch. You can spot check your pulse ox at random, but it's not giving you continual information, and it's not really providing useful day-to-day information. Apple will track it in spots throughout the night, so a little bit of usefulness, but not really. A lot of other primary providers, like the different Chinese watches, like Huawei and Xiaomi, that track these things, only give it like spot check, but no useful, like, just give me some basic stats that have some. Don't ask me to check my blood pressure, my blood ox right now. Just tell me useful information as far as fitness and wellness. Well, Garmin will track it throughout your night or even throughout the day, but here it's most important is to track it throughout the night to see if you're breathing normal, if your your blood oxygen is staying elevated, and the new tracker, the new technology, the new hardware is tracking it more accurately. And then last, sleep. Now, a lot of different manufacturers have sleep tracking. It's like the thing you do. Everybody's got it. Now, Garmin has their sleep score, which is excellent in how they come up with it. They now show you the sleep score in the app, and they really obviously show it to you on the watch. But how they get the sleep metrics is from First Beat Analytics, so it's accurate sleep analysis, and it's currently only offered on the Garmin Fenix 6, the 745, and the 945 through beta, and obviously the Venu 2. So super, super useful. Everybody's doing some version of this. It's just this is now Garmin's best version of it. Polar has it, and Polar, I would say Garmin's version is better than Polar's, but it's similar. So Polar will give you a sleep score, and they will do some, what they call the nightly recharge, the autonomic nervous system recharge throughout the night, which is sort of like Garmin's body battery, but it's only 4 hours of sleep during the night, so it's not as useful information. It doesn't take into account how stressed you were the whole day, the day before, so it's not as useful. So when you're looking at the wellness and the sleep regeneration, Polar's not as good as similar. Suunto will actually contract from First Beat and give you some of the same analytics, but Garmin is tying in more things, and so the sleep information is number one, displayed better, number one, like on the watch, number one, explained better on the app itself than Suunto, and I think it's actually better than what you're getting with the Suunto hardware built into it. Coros, nowhere on the map. I mean, they do sleep tracking, but it's a big gobbledygook of how it looks. It doesn't track your overall wellness. There's no heart rate variability, no usefulness for pulse ox. So not on the same map when it comes to sleep. Apple, terrible sleep tracking. It says like you went to bed at 11:30, which all of us kind of know. I think I went to bed at 11:30, got up at 6:30. Yeah, that's when my alarm went off. I think I know I got up at 6:30. It'll tell you like when you fell asleep. It doesn't tell you any in-depth information for how much deep sleep, how much light sleep, how much REM sleep. It doesn't tell you a whole lot of useful information. Samsung will give you some useful information, but it's not explained in the most simple format. Wear OS, a bunch of different devices have different ways that they track it. So Garmin is the best when it comes to the wellness tracking. So you have a watch that now calculates all of these different things. So all of these different functions tie in, and that's why I wanted to sort of say the Venu 2 is a top-notch, simplified smartwatch, good quality fitness tracker, excellent wellness tracker when it comes to the sea of other watches out there. I mean, you think about it, pulse ox better used, all-time heart rate variability, Spotify, you can download apps right into there, AMOLED display, high quality, fast processor with up to 11 days of battery life, typically 7 if you're just going on. Heart rate accuracy for CrossFit, this untouched by any other optical heart rate sensor if you are going to wear it onto a wrist. The capability to connect to Bluetooth as well, Ant Plus chest straps to be able to track your heart rate, as well as a million other devices because Garmin integrates a million other devices. All of these things are built into it. Garmin Pay, so you can pay with your watch. You can just do it like that. All the other basic things that we've touched on, it's just doing it all so well. Comparing it to the Apple Watch 6, like that is the debate. That is things. The Apple Watch 6, in my opinion, is not a sports tracking watch. You could go research different apps, but the Apple Watch, number one, fundamentally deals with two different app sites. You've got your app for the watch. You've got your app for fitness. The fitness is super bland. It doesn't tie in much stuff. Oh, so let's hunt down third-party apps and see what their information, how they tie into that. And then I got to go adjust my watch settings over here and then come back to the Apple Health and get some information here. Total mess. Not at all simple, not at all clear. And in my opinion, if you're looking for a fitness watch that has a big, beautiful display, you're going to look to the Garmin Venu 2 all day long. The Apple Watch 6 only lasts a day and a half. And I'm sorry, it barely lasts a day and a half, really more like 3/4 of a day. Totally useless when it comes to recharging if you wanted to wear it while you sleep at night. It's not in the same ballpark. So it's square. I don't like the design. Now that's more personal taste, but it is just not competitive unless you want a full tilt computer on your wrist. The Garmin Venu 2 blows it away all day long. So when you compare it to, the Polar Ignite 2, which is the only version that has a big pretty screen. Coros doesn't have any big pretty screens. Suunto 7 has an awesome screen. I really love the design of the Suunto 7. The heart rate accuracy is 42%. It does not connect to a chest strap. So any of the workout analytics are totally useless. Plus the heart rate, I do not trust it because I tested and tracked the new update, which has recovery, which has resources, which has sleep tracking, and I don't trust some of the statistics because I don't think the heart rate accuracy is there, so the hardware fails all. So again, all the other manufacturers don't offer anything like the Venu 2. Obviously, it comes in the 40, the 45 millimeters at $400. I think it's absolutely worth it if you're looking for baseline fitness tracking and super wellness tracking with a big, beautiful display. If you are looking for hard level training and analytics, which is why I wouldn't recommend it for somebody that's doing intense CrossFit. So let me say that very specifically. I would not recommend this device for somebody that's doing intense CrossFit training regimen, wanting to test and track your load and your intensity of your workouts and be able to see how they're growing and evolving over time, coupled with all the workout recovery things. I would say you should look at the Forerunner series as well as the Phoenix series and go there because the Venu 2 does not offer in-depth workout analytics, so it is not a good solution. But if that is not you, if you are looking for fitness tracking in just base level ways, as well as just awesome wellness tracking and a big, beautiful display with a great battery life, the Venu 2 is for you. So that's the Fit Gear Hunter. Thanks so much for watching.